Hey guys, it's MMA Vulture coming at you live with Dana White's Contender Series Week 9 recap. And this week's Dana White's Contender Series was absolutely phenomenal. There was a bunch of flash knockouts, great fights, and I think it was an all-around success. It was insane, dude. And we're going to go ahead and jump into the first bout of the night, being Gauci versus Drilich. And coming out to start, Drilich in the first round looked phenomenal. His striking looked crisp, clean. He had a very slick style to him. He was absolutely destroying Gauci on the feet in the first round. Gauci kind of looked a little bit gun shy and wasn't really able to find Drilich. That first round, it was a clear Drilich round. I feel like he looked very slick on the feet, mixing up his shots very, very well, and just ultimately looked great, and also snubbed Gauci's takedowns in the first a lot. Gauci was having trouble finding those takedowns, but then come second round, Gauci was starting to find his rhythm with the striking. He was starting to mix in his takedowns really well as throwing strikes to the body. So he was mixing in his level changes with his striking, which was leading him to being able to actually finally taking Drilich down, because he was having trouble with it at first because he was kind of just throwing these weak shots and mainly just going for the takedown. Those shots really weren't stunning Drilich, weren't really doing anything to Drilich to make him alert on them. He was mainly just focused on the grappling side of things to make sure Gauci didn't take it to the ground. Now, second round, Gauci started actually throwing strikes, started mixing in his striking with the takedowns, and eventually got the takedowns, got the double leg, got the single leg, and got Drilich down. Drilich did a great job in the sense that he was getting up very quickly, but ultimately Gauci just looked great in the striking too, finding his rhythm like I previously said. He was starting to tag Drilich on the feet. Actually, in the second, he caught him with a few nice shots that actually kind of wobbled Drilich, I feel like, and Gauci just looked amazing come second round, and it continued in the third round. His striking still looked really good. He found his range, was kind of picking apart Drilich, and he looked phenomenal doing so. I feel like he had the stronger blows. He was landing the heavier shots on Drilich, which Drilich was putting up the volume, but I feel like his shots weren't doing that much damage, whereas Gauci was putting up volume, but also putting up great strikes that were actually doing damage. And Gauci ended up getting a unanimous decision because of that. His key really was, in that second and third round, was mixing up his shots. I feel like once he started mixing up his shots, you could clearly see that he was better than Drilich and started getting the better of him and outworking him and outstriking him. I really think that that was one of the keys to Gauci winning, and he ended up doing it perfectly and beating Drilich by unanimous decision. I had Gauci in this fight, and if you guys had him, great job, because I had him in a few parlays of mine. And let's move along to the next bout, in which we had a crazy knockout in Islem Dulatov knocking out Antunes. It was insane. It was the nastiest elbow, putting Antunes clean out. Like, I'm talking clean out. It was insane. Islem Dulatov came out first round just blitzing the crap out of Antunes, throwing these heavy-handed shots, throwing these crisp, clean strikes, and he was landing them flush on Antunes. It's not like he was going out there swinging super wild and not hitting. No, he was hitting Antunes. He completely blitzed him and beat the crap out of him. He looked good in doing so too. He really did. I thought a couple of times that he was going to get the back of Antunes and maybe go for that submission like I called. But no, I feel like he more or less wanted the knockout, because there was a couple of times where he clearly had the back and could have probably gone for the submission but didn't. And he delivered a crazy knockout with an elbow. It was insane, dude. It really was. I was in awe of that elbow. It literally completely put Antunes' lights out. And I had Islem Dulatov to win against Antunes. I did think that it was going to be by submission. I did call that you could do inside the distance to not do the knockout or the submission, but if you had Islam Dulatov, you walked away with an easy W and a nasty one at that. And let's move along to the next bout, in which we had another knockout. This card was delivering knockouts left and right in crazy fashion. We had Camacho versus Mario Pinto. And this one ended via knockout, in which Mario Pinto looked great. He looked phenomenal doing so, clipping Camacho in the first round with a devastating left hook that put Camacho down, and Mario Pinto jumped instantly on him, landing some devastating ground and pound, and the fight got called off. Camacho and Mario Pinto were looking good. They were throwing in the center, but then Mario Pinto saw Camacho drop his hands and caught him with a clean left hook that just put him down, and Mario Pinto jumped on him with the devastating ground and pound and delivered the technical knockout. And Mario Pinto looked great in doing so. He really did. I thought that this fight was going to be a little bit more trouble for him. I did think that this was going to go longer in the rounds due to Mario Pinto maybe breaking him down, then knocking him out. But Mario Pinto found that shot early and put Camacho down and finished him via ground and pound after the devastating left hook. And let's jump to the co-main event, in which we had Kody Steele versus Christian Blair. And this fight was interesting because Blair came out and he looked like the better fighter over Kody Steele. Kody Steele kind of looked a little bit flat and dull in that first round, and I feel like Blair looked great in that first round. I feel like Kody Steele, towards the end of the round, started heating up and got the ended up starting to find his rhythm towards the end of the first, really connecting his shots, mixing up his shots to the body, which is another reason why I think he started to have success in the later of the first and second. I feel like he is a dog. I'm going to be honest. I feel like this fight was definitely more of a test than maybe he expected, but he still got it done. He ended up knocking down Blair and finishing it. And Kody Steele looked great doing so. He hit him with a clean liver shot. Blair was looking great the second round. Steele looked amazing the first round. I'm sorry, he did not come out slow. I apologize. He came out great in the first round. Blair in the second round looked phenomenal. I thought Blair was starting to find his shots maybe, and Kody Steele was kind of losing his groove. I feel like Blair found it in the second, and I feel like Blair was starting to take over, but then Kody Steele lands this devastating liver shot that Blair kind of takes, it was kind of like a delayed reaction, and drops to the floor instantly. It was the perfect liver shot. A devastating left hand to the liver for a technical knockout for Kody Steele. It was insane. Kody Steele looked good in the first round. He had slick striking. He looked good with his combinations, mixing up his shots to the head into the body well. And then Christian Blair looked great in the second half, in the second round, was starting to find his striking, starting to look good on the feet, starting to maybe even look better than Kody Steele, and outworking him and outstriking him. But then Kody Steele found that liver shot and put him down. And I was looking forward to Kody Steele for a while because I had him winning against Quamel when Quamel quit. But either way, this fight delivered. And let's move along to the main event. And if you guys haven't, don't forget to like and subscribe. And let's jump into the main event in Masraf versus Vakhitov. Oh my gosh. Whew. And I had Masraf. I thought he had the clear-cut grappling advantage, and I kind of got a little overzealous in that because Vakhitov doesn't have bad takedown defense apparently. Masraf struggled multiple times to get Vakhitov down. As you guys can see, 6 takedown attempts and couldn't get a single one against somebody that doesn't have the best grappling. He has good takedown defense, but he doesn't have the best. Nowhere near it. And I thought Masraf was going to have great takedowns. And he didn't. He looked flat, dull. Vakhitov picked him apart. I knew Vakhitov was definitely going to have the striking advantage, and he showed that he had the striking advantage, and he's a great kickboxer. He mixes up his shots very well, and he just is a great, great striker. And I'm going to be looking forward to him. They were trying to build him up, saying, oh, he's going to go up against Poatan. I think he will in the future if he can get some wins. I really do. I really see a path maybe where they push him because he is the last person that beat Poatan in kickboxing. But that's all for today. I went 4 of 5. I chose the last one wrong. I went with the underdog thinking that I could pull off the underdog win, but no. It was an all favorite type of card just like last week when I swept it. And if you guys haven't, don't forget to like and subscribe like I said previously, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.